I've been overwhelmed by the generosity and kindness of Albertans that I meet every single day. These last 3 years have been difficult for all of us. And now the wildfires are testing our resolve as a people once more. But I know that together we will overcome every challenge we face, whether it's a pandemic, a flood, a fire, or economic headwinds. We will take care of one another, and we will move our province forward to a better future. And I will carefully listen to you and my UCP caucus, because whatever I may have said or thought in the past while I was on talk radio, Albertans are my bosses now, and my oath is to serve you and no one else. I love this province and everything it stands for. We are a land of entrepreneurs and innovators, of pioneers and farmers, of families and communities, a place where the best and brightest come from every corner of the world to join us in building one of the greatest places on earth to live and work and raise a family. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Hello, my name is Myles and I am the candidate for the UCP party in Calgary Fish Creek. I think this is a good time to be able to tell some of the people that a little bit about myself, about who I am, where I came from, and why I'm running. I was born in Sudbury, Ontario. My father was a miner. My mother was a school teacher. Very early in life, my parents separated, and my father eventually moved away to Calgary. When I was in high school, I came out to Calgary, and I was amazed by the different attitude and the whole environment here compared to Sudbury. In Calgary at that time in the mid-70s, a land of opportunity, optimism, opportunity, and growth. And I was really excited about that. So I eventually decided to, after working for the summer at a job, to move out here and to finish my high school. After high school, I worked at several jobs, everything from selling shoes to working construction, and eventually decided I wanted to see part of the world. And so I embarked on an adventure that eventually took me to working in a bar in London, England, and then down to India, where I lived for several months living with different families and really opened my eyes to the world and particularly how fortunate we were to be Canadian. After graduating with my degree in economics and political science, I received an offer to work in Edmonton as executive assistant to the provincial treasurer of Alberta. So working in the legislature, I had the opportunity to see how government works and the decision-making process and the impact individuals, MLAs could have in the process. It was an amazing opportunity. And I left there thinking that someday I might want to come back and be a candidate. But if I did so, I wanted to come back with real life experience and a broader perspective than certainly I had at that time. After leaving the legislature, I went to do my MBA at the Ivey School of Business in London, Ontario, and then went on to an international career, including things working in the Soviet Union teaching business, then down to Argentina, where I was hired in the banking industry and began a long career as an international banker specializing in investments in the energy sector. I lived in Argentina, where I met my wife. I lived in Brazil, where my son was born. I spent time living and working in New York and finally in London, England. And it's at that time that I decided that I wanted to come home. I wanted my family to be raised here in Canada. In 2003, I returned to Canada and shortly after started my own business. It's something I always wanted to do as an entrepreneur in the technology area in the oil and gas sector. And that was a great learning opportunity, very exciting, ups and downs, the challenges of being an entrepreneur. I did that for 12 years and then eventually sold that company and became CFO of a different company in the technology area. I also did a lot of volunteering. I've coached hockey, baseball, and soccer in my community and became president of the Lake Bonavista Community Association. I think this is a good time for me to give back in a different way. I have a lifetime of experience that I want to bring back to the table and back to the legislature and represent the interests and values of the people in this constituency. I'm excited about the possibilities here. The policies of the UCP party since 2019 have provided the environment for increased investment, diversified investment in Alberta, and we can see the results. The economy is booming. Alberta now has the highest economic growth in Canada, the lowest inflation, the highest salaries, the highest increases in salaries. People are moving here. People, 30,000 people last year moved to Alberta, and we expect the same thing this year. The question I have is this going to continue? Will my son have the same opportunities as I had, and what is possible given what's going on in the world and in Alberta right now? One of the things that I've learned over this process was that there's many places around the world that have all the resources and the talented people that Alberta have, but not all places are able to build the prosperity that we have able to build here in Alberta. And it really comes down to good and bad government policy. Do you attract investment? Do you scare it away? And there are major implications for all this. And Alberta has been successful for the most part over the years in attracting that investment. And I want to be able to provide some advice as to how to keep doing that. I'd like to close this video with a short quote that I have used since I've been 16 years old to provide some direction in my life. What we are going to be, we are now becoming. Thank you.